Ooh. Oh. All right, it's that time of year, the best time of year, some may say. Spring training. No! Player profile and projection season, an episode a day, every day until opening day. Talking Yanks. Talking Gerrit Cole. Jake, how are you?
The Snakes are high.
Snakes.
I enjoy them. James.
Man.
Davis, PPP season. What's going on, everybody? I'm hype. And these PPPs are presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Yanks, $20 off your first order with SeatGeek.
Hopefully nothing changes. We're recording this in January because we got vacations coming up, so it is a little earlier than usual. Hopefully Gerrit Cole's arm doesn't fall off by the time this comes out, but that would be a wild story if it does. I am excited, man.
We would do another episode if that happens.
We're figuring out, like, shit, what does this mean?
He's throwing lefty this year?
Yeah, Cole Abbott.
We would do a whole...
Well, we're super ahead. I tried to front load the ones that I don't think much can change between now and when they're
Cole
out.
Rabbit?
Abbott, yeah. Gerrit Cole, ace of the staff.
Last year, Jim, he started 33 games, most in Major League Baseball. We like that. 200.2 innings pitched, a 3.5 ERA, a 1.02 whip, bunch of strikeouts. He finished 9th in the Cy Young voting, and he was an all-star.
I mean, it's a pretty good season. It's
good.
It's a good season.
It's a good season.
But obviously the pain points or whatever, the negative taste, not even that bad. What you remember is there were games where you really wanted him to come up big and okay, it's a doubleheader. We need you to go 7. Or okay, the whole bullpen was used last night. We need you to go as deep as you can. Or shit, they just struck back. We need a shutdown inning. And it seemed like those were more of the times he got rattled than buckled down, or anytime something kind of slightly went wrong, he didn't seem to persevere above it, from Billy Crystal on opening day taking too long to go out or other stuff like that. So overall, I mean, a great season. I would take it again. I would sign up for it. People voted for him for Cy Young. The playoffs, Jake, pretty good. I mean, the Houston game, he gave up 3 runs, but the ALDS against the Guardians, game 4, he comes out and shoves.
Right.
Game 1, both went into the 7th inning. Pretty good.
Here's what we're missing, Jim, because when you initially see that and you see 3.5, you do a little head turn. Offense was down last year. It's Yankee Stadium. ERA is not everything, right? Remember his first 3 starts? Cole was doing his spring training, and he was like being this giggly, like, it's going to click. And then he got his 3rd start at Detroit, 1.2. He kind of got embarrassed, and he had that, I've got to eat crow. His rest of the season after those first 3 starts, 30 starts, a 3.33 ERA. So he kind of limped in down the stretch. That's the other feeling where there's a little like, it just felt like he was never getting clean towards the end of the season. But on the whole, he was Gerrit Cole.
He also had that one IKF game where it's straight up 5 free earned runs.
Oh my God. Unearned. He got beat up by that's the other side. That's
right.
The flip side. He got destroyed by his defense. But the flip side is that he couldn't pick them up as well as you'd want him to, but they really let him down a lot. And mostly It was IKF. And I think it was Cole's start.
Because it would have been cool if he could go into the dugout and be like, hey, I just picked your ass up.
Yeah, I believe it was Cole's start in the playoffs when the first time IKF sat. Because, the pressure of playoff and Cole. Was it
Season
game 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, no way. So he did get done in. I remember that one play where IKF was basically playing second base because of the shift and was running in towards first, and they gave him a hit. It was that game. There was 3 in a row. Oh, man, I'm getting stressed out thinking about that.
The Royals game was the one I was thinking. I don't remember if that's that play.
Maybe.
Led the league.
Royals. It was
led the league in strikeouts. Led the league in homers given up. I think it's a good season. It's just funny that Gerrit Cole expectation level, technically it's his lowest season in Cy Young voting since 2017. He's been 5th, 2nd, 4th, 2nd, and 9th. So It's a high standard and a high bar, and he was slightly below that. But I think, like you're saying, with the defense, and I think that slow start that was a continuation of the lockout, it all kind of makes sense to me. So I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah. As far as pitching repertoire, for him, that start of the season when it was quote unquote the Yankees were using April as spring training. Well, what do you do in spring training? You throw pitches you don't usually throw. His third most used pitch, almost tied for second, was the cutter. And it was the year of the cutter, and everyone's throwing the cutter. He scrapped that come June. I mean, by July, he threw it 2.7% of the time, where the start of the year, he was up above 10%, which is kind of means it's in your mix. And he was like, oh, I have a fastball and a slider. I don't need a cutter, and just scrap that. And that was a little bit of that, like, testing things out. So I'm interested to see if he tries to. He was also trying to jump on the changeup bandwagon at the start of the year. That ended up actually being a fourth pitch for him in the cutter drop. But in the end, come September, he was 25% slider and 50% fastball. And those pitches fared pretty well for him. But I'm wondering if he's going to try and mix it up again,
Yeah, I mean, I think he naturally settles best in the 4-pitch mix, and I think the slider and the curveball are somewhat interchangeable. Obviously, each pitch has its perk a little bit, but a little bit what feel do you have that day? So if there's a day you don't have that, and yeah, the changeup, man, when it's right. It felt like it was more of a difference maker previously, and I don't know if that was the league seeing it more, or I don't know if he didn't have as sharp of a changeup. When it's right, man, is he a brutal at bats to lefty, because he can hit you with the slider in, his normal fastball, and the changeup away. And then he's normally nasty to righties anyway. So I don't know. I think the bigger thing for me, and talking Yanks fans heard it all offseason, man, what he became in the Yankees locker room and post-game quotes and leadership and top of the dugout. We thought there was almost too much of we thought it was going to be kind of Poindexter-ish, like he's kind of a baseball nerd to a degree.
More like Messina as a leader, not more like CeCe. He kind of went from Messina to CeCe this season.
And he
got a little closer, not fully there.
That top step intensity, the days he's not pitching, like, we used to laugh because he'd always talk off Gary's ear, and we're like, oh, Gary's not about that, dude. He brought that to the whole team, which for everyday 162 is awesome, because you love having your best starting pitcher bringing that intensity. And it'll be nice to have in like a Canely that brings a different kind of intensity every day and a little less squirrely than that. But also, dude, he was a leader. We loved his quotes. I care much more about that than his ERA landing at 3.5 last year.
And his 2 playoff starts. I mean, you want a better one in Houston, but he's not the reason they lost in Houston. So right. I'm not like upset about that, really. Let's see. I think his slider was better than the year prior, but not as good as 2020. But one of the best years for a slider in terms of whiff percentage. Really good. And the spin rate, obviously, down from those really, really good years. I got no real qualms with him moving into this season, right? Like, if he's healthy, I expect some fastballs to get jumped. I expect some innings to be, because he's so good and the expectations are so high that when you're like, come on, man. One thing we wanted to work on last year from the year before was the bottom of the order. Like,
right.
It just seemed like in 2021, he just thought he could throw that fastball past the bottom of the order, and he couldn't. And people just caught up to it and jumped it and were ready for it. I think that kind of went away.
Yeah, I think there was a baseball. We talk about baseball having constant evolutions. I think there was a little bit of that was the first step of starting pitchers trying to throw deeper into games, was just like, attack that bottom of the lineup, get through it. But you still have to attack them like they're real batters. And there was times when they did not. And we saw it with the whole rotation. And that never knock on wood, but for the conversation that it was in 2021, I believe, and 2020 maybe, it was not nearly as much in 2022. So yeah, I'm good on that.
The home runs were there. He averaged 1 home run a game, basically.
Right.
Not basically. Like he averaged 1 home run a game the whole season.
Accurate.
Like that to come down, but he's a power pitcher, so he's not going to give up a lot of hits. So when guys face pitchers like him, they're going to try and score via the long ball because they know they're not going to string together 3. So you get people jumping. So as long as it's a solo shot, that doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
You know, I think our early over-under on this is tied into it. But at end of the day, like Gerrit Cole, he's not measured on home runs. It's almost like how many runs per home run. But that's also weird. I've never rated a player that way.
How many runs per home runs? How many multi-home runs did you give up? Well, let's see. I can pull that up.
Maybe like runners in scoring position.
How many home runs did he give up last year?
33.
So 3-run homers. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 3-run homers. And then 2-run homers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And no, it's
so it's 15. So less than 50% were multiple home run. Not bad, Jake.
His runners in scoring position numbers last year were pretty bad, and career they are not. So, hey.
It felt like
maybe that's one of those fluky things. Yeah,
like that's the one thing, and this is like kind of, some people might say bullshit, and the analytics people don't take this into account, but it seemed like there are times when you really wanted to buckle down, and his way of buckling down was throwing that fastball right by you, the glory days. And then it would get hit, or something would happen, and that's where I'd like to see more. You know, you got rookies behind you now in the defense, hopefully. We don't even know.
Yeah.
And let's pick them up because you're Gerrit Cole. You're the best.
You're Gerrit Cole, yeah.
On the team. The ace. Yeah.
I see the numbers a little differently, and some of these runners in scoring position stuff feels a little bit fluky. That would bring a few of those big numbers back down to earth. So I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
And I think
2 outs, runners in scoring position, 56 plate appearances, 264, 304, a 623 slugging, a 926 OPS. And that's not that's not his par for the course or anything like that.
Yeah.
That feels a little fluky.
I do like you bringing up the leadership stuff because it did feel like a big step. I led with negative, which was bad. Bad way to start the first player profile and projection. But that stretch when the Yankees were awful and they were like the worst team in baseball, Cole was kind of like the guiding light of like, hey, Cole's in every pitch still. And, oh, my God, what was my favorite quote? Collective buy-in. That came from that when they were searching for a superstition.
Yeah.
And Cole said there's been a lot of good collective buy-in. We just haven't found what's worked yet. That's great.
Was that the bubble gum?
Yeah, bubble gum.
There's good collective buy-in on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Where do you want to go next? We have an over-under at the end of the show.
Broke the Yankees' all-time season single strikeout record. Beat Gator. And Gittery called him. And then I was getting ready to mock Cole because I was like, I don't think Gerrit Cole cares too much about Gittery. And he was like emotional. So we like that.
We do like that.
Broke a Yankee record.
All right, so expect a slow April.
Sure.
Not in terms of stats. No, not in terms of stats. But the Yankees have not allowed him to be what Max Scherzer demands to be in Verlander. And maybe it's for the better, man. Those guys, not Verlander, but Scherzer's got hurt. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting doled down by that. But the Yankees are going to be 5 and fly in April. Or low pitch count.
To start.
First 2 times through, whatever it is.
I'm fine with that. This spring training, he wasn't even dialing up to 5 innings.
Yes.
It was the lockout, and it was like I'm gonna be good. Like I'm Gerrit Cole, and then those 3 starts, which 2 of them would have traditionally, or 3 would have traditionally been spring training, ended up biting him.
2 things that he needs to conquer for me this year.
1,
Perseverance. Making, well, how would you say that he needs to conquer like fallback moments or
He needs.
the other is Devers.
We should get to him. Devers is gone. Let's throw up the fours.
No, I want him to. He's going to be around. They're both going to be around. They both are signed.
Sox stink.
Yeah, but it's like a bugaboo.
For this year, let's get Cole coming into spring training with some good old war general quotes about adversity.
2 stags. Locking horns in the forest.
I'm either going to need less stag quotes or more stag quotes.
I started to really enjoy his quotes.
I need him to go one way with the stag quotes, more or less.
He's going to go more.
I hope so.
Because he's going to feel more confident now. Judge is around. He's around. He stepped up to a leadership role. He loves him.
He needs a bona fide quirk. Like if in every press conference he mentioned a different animal. Like I need something that the people can lock into besides us saying like, no, he's intense and he cares, but it's a little offbeat. Like I need like the example.
Okay.
That's my goal for the year.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like the one you gave. It'd be really nice for like, dude, like he's just always comparing stuff to animals.
I want him to compare stuff
intense.
to eating foods.
That'd be great.
It's like taking a bite out of, and then you don't know what's coming.
Man.
Yeah.
You gotta really chew.
Crisp apple snap.
Said
That's how he
anything.
talks about his slider.
Okay.
Okay.
Puns.
All right. His baseball reference projections. Fun part of the show. Fun part of the show. Fun part of the show for Gerrit Cole. Gack.
The
Gack attack.
You ought to know by now.
The Gack attack's fun.
Okay.
Like after he throws a fastball, he just screams at you, Gack attack. Man.
You were reading the projections.
Baseball Reference feels pretty reliable with this one.
77% reliability they're projecting this with. 3.47 ERA, so coming down a little bit. How many starts do they have him making? Well, 179 innings. They are giving him 1 save, and I like that.
Yeah.
That's probably down the stretch.
Pen that in.
Yep.
Big game.
26 homers. Is that down from last year?
That would be down.
Yeah, they'd be down overall, I guess, by rate over 100.
So basically
what
these projections are, numerically and statistically, they're kind of around it, but the 77% comes from this would be him having an IL stint.
Yeah, that's his least innings pitched
Right.
since
And with
Pittsburgh.
with starting pitchers, that's basically like for them to predict.
He's been so durable.
I guess you know what? No. If you're going to predict this with 77% reliability, why wouldn't you do it at 205 innings
Because he's a robot.
and have
Why wouldn't that be 77%?
Hey, he got 2 complete games in both his first and second year with the Yankees, and he didn't get 1 last year. So I want a complete game out of Cole.
Okay, I'm in on
I
that.
like that.
I want it dog days of August. Complete game. Team on his back.
Pissy.
I remember there was like a Seattle game we were hoping he would do that or
First
something
game
like that.
after the trade deadline. Welcomes the new guy to the team.
Yes!
Yeah.
And also I want him to befriend Rodon if Rodon's interested. Rodon might just hang out with Nestor.
Yes.
Yeah, shit, that might be what happens.
Yeah. No, everyone takes their turns with Cole.
Okay, he led the league in strikeouts last year.
Yep.
Do you want him?
I'm good. The over-under is 24.5 home runs allowed.
That's way too low. Over.
Feels low. I'm going over.
Yeah.
Sorry. Those Talkin Yanks guys always take the over.
Over. And there you go.
Don't
That's
care.
Gregory Allen Cole, little player profile projection. The first one of the year. We got 24 more coming up or 29?
Think more. Think 29.
29 more coming. Subscribe.
Hey,
Subscribe to all the stuff. Subscribe to it.
like the video.
Yeah, and comment and all that.
Tell us what you did.